pleasant good evening. Welcome to the show Meet the Candidates. I am your host, Dalila Ikal. And as the name Meet the Candidates implies, the show is intended to raise the awareness of the Orange Walk residents, regardless of political affiliation, on a wide range of topics, so that come March 4th, 2009, they can go to the polls and make an informed and independent decision for the town board elections. Meet the Candidates will be aired every Thursday after the CTV3 evening news, and this will be aired leading up to the town board elections. And we will be speaking to the PUP 7, the People United Party's 7 candidates contesting the March 4th elections. The council candidates include Farida Espadas Riverol, who is a former teacher at Bishop Martin High School and now an entrepreneur. We'll also be talking to Kevin Emmanuel Bernard, born Orange Wakenyo, and a present accountant at Unicomer Belize Limited, who is also very much involved in sports. We'll also be speaking to Josue Carballo, the holder of a bachelor's degree in science in mechanical engineering and presently employed as logistics and procurement manager at SpeedNet Telecommunications Limited. Alejandro Lopez will also be joining us on one of the shows. He is a licensed and registered pharmacist and has worked significantly with youth-oriented programs. We'll also be speaking to Rafael Francisco Avila, manager of CyberWalk Computers, Net Cafe, and a member of the Rotary Club of Orange Walk Town. We'll also be having Roselle Arana Flores in our studio. She is a teacher at Bishop Martin High School and has been very actively involved in promoting culture with Orange Walk, particularly as it relates to the Garinagu culture. And she is also a former dance choreographer. And contesting the mayoral seat is on March 4th, 2009. On the PUP slate is Mr. Ramon Cervantes Jr., better known as Monchi, who is also our first guest tonight. Welcome. Good evening. How are you today?
Thank you, Dalila. Good evening. Dalila, good evening, my fellow Orange Wakenyos. And I am fine, Dalila. Thanks for asking.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you here with us, Monchi. And before we jump into the program, could you tell us a little bit more about Monchi? Let us find out a little bit more about who Monchi Cervantes is.
To understand who Monchi Cervantes is, Dalila, for a clearer picture, I will go back to my roots. I was born and raised here in Orange Walk Town. My parents are Ramon Cervantes and Vilma Urbina Cervantes. My grandparents on my father's side are Benedicto Cervantes and Florencia Madera Cervantes. On my mother's side, my grandparents were Miguel Urbina and Luisa Burgos Urbina. Now, each of my family there has been running, a history of public service. Since for example, my grandfather Miguel Urbina, he was involved in the nascent nationalist political movement in the early 50s, along with George Price, here in Orange Walk Town. Then my uncle Lito Urbina, he was an area representative, he was a senator, and he was also a minister of government. Then my uncle Fortunato Cervantes, he was a town councillor for several years. So was my uncle Hilardo Cervantes, my Tio Shilling. He is deceased, may he rest in peace. Yeah, he was also a town councillor. And my father Ramon was a councillor in the Orange Walk Town Council, and he was also a mayor in the early 1990s. So those are my roots, and that is how I'm here.
So you already have a history of your family's political interests, no?
Yes, yes.
All right, well, tell us a little bit more about your education and work experience.
Dalila, I attended La Immaculada School, primary school. Then I went to Muffles College. At Muffles College, I followed the academics course, which is Arts and Sciences. Then I went to St. John's Sixth Form, where I got an associate's degree in history and economics. Thereafter, I went to the United States, where I studied at the University of New Orleans. There I obtained my Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. Right after I graduated, I went to study then. I studied further to take my Certified Public Accountant examination. I took the exam, and fortunately I passed it. It was a tough exam. And immediately after that exam, I came back to Belize, and I started working. I worked at Price Waterhouse in Belize City as an auditor. Then I worked with the Ramada Royal Reef Hotel and Marina as the assistant financial controller. I did not stay too long at the hotel because I got a better offer from Tropic Air in San Pedro, and I went there as the financial controller. I came back to Orange Rock Town in 1997 to work for my family business, San Isidro Construction Center, and I am still there. I'm at our business. I am dealing with the finances, the sales, the marketing, and overall management of the business.
All right, Monchi, you have earned yourself quite a long resume, and from what I just heard, and you already are managing your own business and practically, having your life set in a way, so to speak. What motivated you then to just jump into the political arena? Why did you decide to run for mayor?
Dalila, I love Orange Rock, and I love the people of this town. As I mentioned before, I was born and raised here. Okay. Due to my studies and my work, I was out of town for about 13 years. And during those years, I have lived then in the United States, in San Pedro, and in Belize City. I have also visited many countries during my lifetime. I have visited Mexico, Guatemala, El Salvador, Venezuela, Barbados, Cuba, England, France, and Italy. And though those places, many of those seem like nice places to live, nothing compares to my beloved Orange Rock. Really, my family is a great one. My friends, my neighbors, my acquaintances, they are the best in the world. And I have decided this is where I want to live for the rest of my life, Orange Rock Town. And now, I think it is time for me to step up to the challenge, to further contribute to the development of Orange Rock Town. Before I entered this race, I prayed and I consulted with my friends and my family. And the greatest disincentive for me running was the dirty nature of politics. Okay, I see. However, Dalila, my cause is noble, and I must remain steady in my course to build a better Orange Rock, because it pains me, to see my town in such abandonment and neglect. And if I just sit by and wait and hope that someone will come along and lead us in the right direction, I might just die before that happens. I believe in God, and I believe in the people of Orange Rock Town.
Okay, and that is why you joined on this team. No?
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Monchi, for giving us all of that information, for telling us a little bit more about yourself. When we come back, because we're going to be taking a short break right now, when we come back, we're going to be talking to you more about the current issues that are happening since you've jumped into the political arena, and your plans and your team's plans for Orange Rock. Stay tuned.